Over 160,000 protested in France on Saturday as the French Parliament debated the expanded use of vaccine passports. The Senate approved the bill to do so early this morning. NTD's Eddie Aiken has the story.
Tens of thousands in Paris gathered on Saturday to protest against the use of vaccination passports for attending social venues. Their fears now realised after the French Parliament in early hours of Monday approved the proposed bill. Also referred to as a health pass, it will show if a person has been vaccinated or not, whether they have had a negative test in the last 48 hours, or if they have recovered from the disease during the previous 6 months.
I'm absolutely against it because I'm not vaccinated. On September 15th, if I'm not vaccinated, I will lose my job. I have been threatened of getting fired. I'm here today in favour of the freedom to choose to get vaccinated or not.
Visitors heading to museums, cinemas or swimming pools in France are already being denied entry if they cannot prove either vaccination or if they have had a recent negative test. The pass is also being required for large-scale festivals or to go clubbing.
I feel we're being rushed. It's only been 6 months since these vaccines were made available to the general public, and it feels like French people are being forced with blackmail. Blackmail. I think part of France is always going to be unwilling, and blackmail and threats won't work.
A French Interior Ministry official said over 160,000 people took part in protests across the country on Saturday, up from 114,000 a week earlier. Among them was French politician José Evrard. He said the health pass threatens the fundamental liberties of French people.
I'm here today to show my disapproval of the governmental policy concerning the health pass, which is only a step towards suppressing the liberties of the French. For the French, freedom is something that is concomitant with their way of being, with their French soul, because initially the French means people of freedom.
From the start of August, the pass will be needed to enter restaurants and bars and for long-distance train and plane journeys. A protester says the virus pass is like the social credit system currently being tested in China.
There's no question of having good and bad citizens and having a system of code or authorization given by the government under a sanitary or other pretext.
The approved bill will also make COVID-19 vaccinations mandatory for health workers. These measures are due to end on November 15th unless the government votes to extend them. A final green light from the nation's top jurisdiction will be needed before the measures are made into law. Eddie Aitken, NTD News.
In Paris, the director of a vaccination centre has said some patients are coming in to get a health pass more than a vaccine. It follows the French Parliament's Friday vote on new restrictions for the unvaccinated. NTD's Anna Rodriguez tells us more.
Some Parisians getting a COVID-19 jab in the city's 11th district said last week they felt compelled to come here.
I don't have a choice, because if I want to just walk on the street, live the bare minimum, I must be vaccinated. I didn't want to do it at first, but there are too many restrictions. Bars, restaurants, gyms. I can't get tested every other day. It's mostly because of that.
The French Parliament last week voted in favour of a COVID-19 health pass. It later passed the next stage of approval in the Senate on Monday.
Following the government's decision, I felt like I had to do it to keep on being active and live properly. And on the other hand, I figured that we'd have to do it anyway, given what is happening with the Delta variant.
The director of the vaccination centre noted an increase in vaccine appointments following the announcement of the measures.
We see more patients forced to come here by, let's say, the current situation. They come here to get a health pass more than a vaccine.
French President Emmanuel Macron wrote in a tweet on Monday that 40 million people in France have now received their first dose, and 10% of the jabs were administered in the past 2 weeks. Anna Rodriguez, NTD News.
In light of the new restrictions, some in France unwilling to take the vaccine are turning to an alternative: fake health passes. NTD's France correspondent David Vevez brings us this report.
A new phenomenon is popping up in France: fake health passes for the people who don't want to get the shot for one reason or another, or take the COVID test over and over again. It can feel like a ticket to a normal life. This is the case for Josephine, a former journalist who spoke on the condition of anonymity.
The idea of getting a fake pass came to me when I heard the vaccine is still in an experimental phase.
On the internet, some doctors are selling fake health pass for $350. Josephine said she would pay that money.
Today, yes, I'm ready to pay for this fake pass. I don't want to promote it though. My daughter has been vaccinated. For me, I think there is a danger with this vaccine.
Health passes can be created by doctors who register individuals on a website that keeps track of vaccination data. That person will then have a QR code. Last week, a drugstore employee was arrested with 46 fake health passes. She was selling them for $300 each on Snapchat. Another woman was arrested today in Grenoble for doing the same thing. The French government wants to crack down on fake health pass sellers with an $88,000 fine and 5 years of prison. David Vives, NTD News, Paris.
In both Italy and Greece at the weekend, thousands demonstrated against their government's latest restrictions. Some called the use of vaccine health passes unjust and against their personal freedoms. NTD's El Rhodes brings us more.
Thousands of people gathered in Rome and in several other Italian cities at the weekend to protest against the government's new restrictions for the unvaccinated. From August, residents without a so-called green pass reflecting their COVID-19 health status can be denied entry to many venues and places in the country like gyms and indoor dining. Protesters described the move as an unconstitutional infringement to their liberty.
The Green Pass
is an unjust obligation. Freedom can't be restricted. It's against the Constitution.
I'm here because I don't want the green pass, because I want to be free to choose what I can and cannot do. Because I stand for my freedom as well as for others, so, without polemics, I'm an anti-vaxxer. Live and let live.
The Italian Prime Minister said last week the pass is necessary to keep businesses open amid sharply rising cases. The pass, documenting proof of immunity or a negative test, will kick in on the 6th of August. And in Athens at the weekend, more than 4,000 people marched to Parliament protesting against mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations for healthcare workers and nursing home staff. They held a large banner reading "Freedom." The demonstration was the third in 10 days.
This is not an anti-vaccine movement. These are people that have thought about it and want their freedom.
Later at night, some protesters fired petrol bombs at riot police. They responded with volleys of tear gas and water cannons. Earl Rhodes, NTD News.
Two of Madrid's most famous sites joined the UNESCO World Heritage List: the Retiro Park and the adjoining Paseo del Prado Boulevard. NTD's Joy Duguid has the details.
UNESCO added two of Madrid's famed landmarks to its list of World Heritage Sites on Sunday. Retiro Park is an urban green space with a boating lake in the centre of the city. It has evolved from being a palace and garden for the king in the 17th century.
El Parque del Retiro era un parque real.
When the Retiro was a royal park that was donated to Madrid City Council, actually to the citizens. The design has changed since then towards a landscape designed for the enjoyment of citizens, shade, promenades, etc.
It's one of the city's most popular attractions for locals and tourists alike.
I think it's like literally the heart of Madrid. I don't know anyone who comes to Madrid and doesn't go to the Retiro. Whether it's for a walk, to have a drink, it's the centre.
Adjoining the park is Paseo del Prado, one of Europe's most famous streets. The boulevard is home to several prestigious buildings, among them the Prado Museum. The promenade for pedestrians has been popular since the 15th century as a place of recreation for all social classes. UNESCO highlighted the influence the properties have had on the designs of other cities. Madrid City Council agrees.
Paseo del Prado is the first tree-lined urban promenade recorded in the history of Western urban planning, and it is a landscape model which was exported to America.
Spain has the third highest number of World Heritage Sites in the world, after Italy and China. Joy Duguid, NTD News.
That's the news for today, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Stuart Leith. Thank you for watching our daily news show on YouTube. You can also watch our other programming on channel 190 on Sky TV or on Freeview via channel box on channel 271. In the meantime though, please give this video a like and hit subscribe to our channel. Have a good day.